earn that. It wasn't like, okay, they were just going to find me. And I always tell people, like, if you've got the talent, real people will find you eventually. But you have to put in the work.
If you build it, they will come.
Come.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, man. If you build it, they will come. And this is why. But the problem is, this generation does not want to do the work. They want somebody else to do the work for them.
It's like
they want.
It's like all these Instagram baddies. Like I just looked at one today. It was a guy I was talking to. He owns a. I'm not going to say names. I will never do that. But this guy, he owns a skincare company, and him and his baby mama are like in deals with like Kardashians. And I was like creeping on their profiles tonight, you know, and it's like, I'm totally happy for them, but you can just tell it's like they're not putting in the work, and it shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, in anything you do, it doesn't matter. Put in the fucking work. Don't just sit there and like try to copy and piggyback off of everyone else's success. Like, do your own thing.
But that's what it is. But that's the thing, because everyone is always looking at. It's like when I have a meeting with certain girls or clients that come in, and they're like, I want to be an actress, and I want to be a model, and I want to be famous, and blah blah blah, and they're like, how? And I'm like, and they're like, I got 1 million followers. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if you have 10 million followers. If you don't have 10 million, do you have $10 million in the bank?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you can't turn those followers into dinero, it means nothing. And for me, I don't even give a rat's ass about social media. Like I don't care about likes. And this is the problem that I have now, not just in the industry, but in society, is where your value.
Your light went out.
Yeah. Hold on.
Also, someone said something. Hi, hello.
your value, people now, and your worth is like about your follower status. Is about your like status, and I'm like, or they think, for example, and people don't realize because they don't really understand the way that the social media game works. When they see the people that have massive engagement, the Jake Pauls, the fucking King Bosches, understand, one, their demographic is kids. They built their demographic on strictly 16, 13, 12-year-olds.
You don't have to explain this shit to me. Like, I literally, one of my best friends, we weren't best friends. We were okay friends in acting school. Hannah Stocking. She's got 18 million followers, and her demographic is children. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And this is the thing. And listen, if that's your demographic, cool, good for you. If you could turn it into a brand, my hat's off to you.
Right.
But the way that these social media companies pimp out, because yes, when they're in their millions of followers and stuff like that, all these companies are pimping them for that engagement. And that's why now, like when it comes to Instagram, where you've seen the decline, where maybe 2 years ago, you make a post and everybody saw the shit. And all of a sudden you started seeing over the years, like the more you posted, the less you posted, less people were liking, less people were following, less people were, and because now, unless you're willing to pay Instagram to really see that engagement, but I'm like, and this is what I was telling you the other day, I was like, you need to create your own brand. Fuck this OnlyFans bullshit. Fuck all these other platforms. It's why when I, for example, Mel will attest to this. When I was running nightclubs, actually Roger's even on here, who used to work for me. He used to work for me for years. And when I was running nightclubs, I used to hire my staff to basically walk around the fucking nightclub with a clipboard that would have name, email, phone number, address. And Roger will attest to it. Whenever I gave him that duty or any of the stuff, they fucking hated it. Like, why gotta walk around this damn clipboard all night? Like, what? And to them, it was like, okay, pick up girls. It was an easy way for them to talk to girls and whatever. But for me, I'm like, look, these people who are 19 years old, who just started clubbing, at some point, they're going to be in their 20s. They're going to be in their 30s. They're going to be in their 40s. They're going to have families. They're going to have businesses. They're going to have kids. And I was the first person doing this. 4,000 people in my club, and I'm literally having girls with clipboards running around taking names and emails, paying them $50 a night to do it. And no one understood why I was doing this. So he posted. I hated that. Even Roger even posted. I hated that shit. But again, the reason why I had them do it, because I'm like, look, I knew in my head at some point my company name was Alliance Entertainment. Mm-hmm. When I started it in 93,
the year I was born.
Yeah, in 93, I had one vision. Alliance is what you have, which is where you find the best people, different genres, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different skill sets. Yep. I want to put all these people under an umbrella, an alliance. Entertainment, it's a big ass fucking word. Yeah. Doesn't mean nightclub, doesn't mean film, doesn't mean television. It means everything. You combine them together, Alliance Entertainment. But I wanted to make sure that my brand, my company vision, it was a one-stop shop. If you needed this, you came to us. You needed this, you came to us. If you had a skill set of something that, this is why like when people fill out an application form or submission form through us, and I'm like, and I'll put in a question of like skill sets. And I always have people say, well, even the ones that have no experience in entertainment, like, well, I don't have any experience. I said, I don't care.
You have skills. You have to know your. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You literally like one of the most valuable. All these 4 people watching this right now, like this is a valuable piece of information. If you're an actor, an actress, a model, know what you're fucking good at. Know what you're gonna be cast as. You gotta know your shit before they even know it for you. You gotta know it. You gotta tell them. Yeah, I think I'm, Margot Robbie, or I think I'm a fucking Frances McDormand type. Like, you gotta know your shit. Because they already know it. But the fact that you know it and you're saying it to them, they're like, oh, okay, they do. They know it. Like, it goes without saying. Like, no.
But that's the thing. But I look at every talent, every person has something to offer. They just have to find it in themselves. And to me, but the biggest problem, as I said, and as I grew the business, I used those same people that I met when they were 19, 20, 30 in the nightclubs who I didn't really know, but let's just say they're they become in a business that I may need to reach out, and rather than pay them and say, hey, let me use your service, I was like, yo, you already provide that? Come into my umbrella. Didn't matter what it was. And then I gave, and I'm like, okay, you see this 2.5 million subscriber platform? When you're now just starting your business and you're trying to figure out where can I get customers, I already have them. So it's a win-win.
You're waiting for people to prove to you that you're not going to open up, as you say, your black book. Put your brand, your fucking company, your name on the line for these individuals, and then them make you look bad.
Which is what many times mistakes that I made over the years, because I always tried to believe in people. I always tried to believe, because I came from an era which was pay it forward. I came from an era where, I wanted to bring my whole crew with me. Like, if I win, we all win. But it was like, and Roger's on your test, like, me and him had fights because I've in the past, I was like, you guys don't get it. Like, you don't get the bigger picture. Like, I'm trying to, you may think like all this little things that you're doing that I had them do. They were like, oh, I don't want to do this. Even though I was paying them, and I was still paying them, even when they weren't worthy of even getting the money. Still take care of them. But it was for me saying, okay, if I can't trust you with this small shit, how can I trust anybody with the big shit? Right. Exactly. So that's when it, as I said, but when you reach to a certain point in life, when you start going like this, and you got people around you that are still playing it safe, because many people want to just play it safe. They just want to go through the routine. They want to work a 9-to-5 job. They want to go to college. They want to get married. They want to have a baby, and then call it a day. That's it. They call it a fucking day. And then for me, I'm like, no, I'm not. I mean, listen, that's good for you. That's your plan. I respect it. That's not my fucking plan. I got bigger plans. I got bigger goals for myself. Exactly. And so for me, it's like, when you are, as I said, going up that ladder and you start to grow, a lot of times people this is where the haters come from. They want to keep you there. They want to keep you in the sense, number one, on their level. And then what happens is with your mindset, this is what I went through, what I think you are in this phase right now going through, is that because I've seen your work, I know what you're capable of. I know what you can do. But people get to a point where like they start apologizing to themselves for other people's behavior. Like when someone does some bullshit, I'm like, why am I apologizing? You fucked up. You did some bullshit. And then it starts fucking with your head where you start going, okay, like, am I really not cut out for this? Am I really not good enough? And I'm like, and then when you do something even greater, you get more people talking shit, trashing you and trashing your name and trying to bring you down.
It really does.
Exactly. And then you got the social media trolls and everybody, running their mouth.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, and then it just got to a point for me where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to apologize for being great to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like, again, you don't become great by just talking about it. And again, there's a difference. It's not about being an old saying. It's not cocky if you can back it up. Like I don't walk around like I'm King Motherfucking Tut and think I'm the shit, because I don't. But when it comes to my business, no. But I don't, because to me, babe, there's no difference between me and the janitor.
Right.
There's no difference between me and the guy that works in a factory. If he's passionate, like for example,
right.
My boy Roger, he used to work for me, but he's been in the same career job forever. And I always think like, dude, like how do you fucking do that? Like how do you do the same job like for that long? I would lose my fucking mind. But he loves his work. I can't knock him for that. I can't knock him in the sense that, he's got a family to take care of. Mm-hmm. If that's what your passion is and you enjoy doing the same thing every day and you're content with that,
yeah,
my hat's off to you, because he had to follow his path. The same way for me.
That's the thing, like that's what you have to realize about like life, is that some people's paths it takes all kinds of kinds, and
what he said and what Roger said, dedicated. You have to be dedicated to what you want to do.
Yes.
And you can't be, and that's why I tell people in this business, if you want to get into this business, as I told you, and you want to do it on the highest level, you can't half-ass this shit. Because if you half-ass it, or as I say to people, you have to invest into yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect people to invest into you. That's why I always have people will come to me like, oh, D, I've got this business. I've got this great. No, you don't. You don't have an idea. You just want me to do the work. You want me to come up with all the shit, and you want to take the fruits of the loins. And I used to be that person. I used to help people, put my own shit on hold, and then it just got to a point where it was taxing, physically draining me, mentally. Until, as I said, 4 years ago, I took a gun to my head, and I was done. I was over. Like I had reached the lowest point in my life that I've ever reached. I don't really talk about it, but I had reached the point where I'm like, because people think on the outside surface, when you are on TV or you're doing things, and it's like, you're so, as I said, you're so lucky, you have a great situation, but people don't understand how hard this business is mentally. The sacrifice that you have to make, because understand, I tell anyone, if you want to get into this game and you want to make something of yourself in it, you have to understand the sacrifices that you make are more than anything on the planet for this business. You will sacrifice friends. You will sacrifice relationships. You will family. And the most important, no matter any way around it, you will sacrifice your health. Because those late nights, those early morning calls, those going from one, and people don't understand is that the hard part about the business, it's not about when you're working. It's when you're not working, because that's when the real work is. You have to be out there and networking and pushing and doing all these things behind the scenes to create opportunities. And the problem that people have is that, you know, it's like, for example, and this is why, like, I hate the OnlyFans shit. I fucking can't stand it, because it's made people get comfortable. Like, you don't gotta do much on that shit. You don't. There's always gonna be horny dudes, and people are gonna. It's
literally the easiest money ever.
It's the easiest money you're ever gonna make. But at the end of the day, is that, and again, I tell them, like, if you're happy with that, and you're just about money, then I'm not gonna knock you. Keep doing that. But the problem is, the girls that make money on that shit, they still don't invest into themselves.
Right.
They invested into purses and going shopping and drinking and partying, and then when basically, you know, 10 years go by.
I do think it's different though when, you know, like, you know, for instance, me, you know, I do think it's different when you're using it as a means to further, you know, your career.
If you're doing that.
Right.
But most people aren't doing that. Most people, bottom line, it's like
most people are not doing a lot of things right with it. Like,
exactly, and that's
in the hands of young men and women who have no fucking clue what to do with it, and they have no purpose or sense of direction in life. They don't know what to do other than spend it. But you put it in, you know. Also, I don't mean to cut you off, D. I took a Benadryl. I gotta go to sleep.
No worries, Twitter. I'm glad to have you on here. We'll definitely have to do it again when you're more awake and alive. And
and when I look less like I'm in my fucking bed.
Where are you tomorrow?
I'll be here. So yeah, just hit me up. It's so good to talk to you.
Definitely, babe. Hit me when you wake up.
I will, for sure. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, guys. I think it's time for me soon to go to bed myself. So, all right, guys, it's been a blast. I hope that you guys are well, and time for team sleep. Peace.